All right, good morning, folks. So here's what you're going to be doing today. So you can see the example from Google Classroom, hopefully, where you are going to be creating sort of an homage to your goat, celebrating who you think is the goat, whatever that means to you. So for me, I picked Michael Jordan. You might want to pick a musician or an artist or an athlete, scientist, whatever you want is fine with me as long as it's appropriate for school and for the project. Um, so what you're going to do is first go into your Google Chrome. Um, in this case, I searched for Michael Jordan. I'm going to be very specific, so I'm going to search for Michael Jordan dunk. Okay, and then up here in my tools, I'm going to make sure I set the size to large so that any picture that I get is a nice large picture and works really well for what I'm doing. So you want to find a really good picture, one that has an interesting shape to it, and preferably one that includes the entire body of the person. Um, so any of these would be pretty good for this. When I find a picture that I want to use, um, I'm just going to right click it and say save image as, and then save it. Okay, so that's your first task today. Okay, you're then going to um, open up Photoshop. Okay, and you're going to open that file. So I'm just going to go File, Open. Note you don't need to make a new file at this point, so there's no need to search for a new file. You're literally just going to open the file that you saved. I've actually done this earlier, so this is the photo that I'm going to use right here. All right. The first thing I need to do is cut out this picture. All right. So this is going to take you basically the entire period today. Um, the uh, the steps here are fairly simple. So I'm going to take a look at my uh, layers over here. This is my background layer. It's only one layer because there's only one layer in the file. Okay, and I want to cut this figure out so that they are removed from the background. So the way that we do that is I'm going to click this little icon right down here. It creates what's called a layer mask. It's an icon that looks like the Japanese flag, so it's like a white square with a circle on it. And when you click it, you'll see what appears this little um, white box on your layer right next to the image is this little white layer mask. This is called a mask. The way that it works is very simple. You grab your brush tool, make sure that you're using black as your main color. And what you're going to do is make sure that you have a hard edge on your brush. Um, and the way a mask works is basically any area of this layer that I paint black will disappear. Okay, and as I'm painting this, you can see over here on my mask are these black areas that I've painted in. Okay, and the idea here is to work your way around the whole picture. Um, I'm using a large brush here to do all the large background areas. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in really close to do the smaller details. So I'm making my brush smaller, and I'm going to work right up to the edge of my subject here and very, very carefully work all the way around the entire figure. All right. I'm not going to do the entire thing in this video because, as you can see, it's going to take a little while. Remember, you can make your brush bigger and smaller using the bracket keys on your keyboard, and you can use that to work your way around the image and cut out the entire thing. Okay, so it's going to take a little while, um, but it shouldn't be super difficult. If you make a mistake, you can switch to white and paint that area back white again, and it'll bring it back. So black removes from the picture, and if I switch to white, it brings it back. Handy little shortcut, if I press the X key on my keyboard, it switches the colors. So if I press X, I'll be using the black, and if I press X again, it switches to white. So you can switch back and forth between the colors to make it a little bit easier for you. Typically, you're going to have to switch back and forth between the black and the white to get a perfectly cut out image. When you've done the whole thing, here's my example. You'll see it's really nicely, perfectly cut out. Missed a spot right there. I could fix that. Here's the nice thing about using layer masks, and the reason we do it. If you make a mistake, you can still correct it later on. So the real important thing about layer masks is that they allow you to change them later on. If I were to, say, use an eraser to cut all this out, it would really limit what I was able to do because you can't undo the erasing later on. Okay, so after you get everything all cut out, you're going to save the file. All right, so let's pretend this is all complete, even though obviously it's not. You're just going to go File, Save As. Give it a name that makes sense for you, whatever you want to call it, and then save it. That's it. Okay. Good luck. I expect I'll be back for our next class.